What's going on, guys? It's me, the Mad Trucker. Let me tell you why I'm mad. Why I'm mad today is this Drake and Kendrick battle. I finally give my thoughts on it. I took some notes. But first of all, let me hear my slogan. Hey, if you knew better, you do better. One's cool, but two is better. Now, let's get on with this thing here. All right. These are my thoughts, okay? And my thoughts, I'm going to preface this by saying this is like more so geared from a writer's prospect perspective. If you are not a writer, then you there are a lot of elements and things that you would never understand.
To the rest of you, the non-believers, the underachievers, the tweet and deleters, you guys make me sick to my stomachs, fam.
You just can't come to terms with. And let me just say this real quick. Fans, all fans have to be able to look at these things in a different light. You have different perspective. You have the business side, you have the rapper side, and then you have the fan side. Excuse me, guys. And where I'm coming from with this is more so from the side of writing. From a person who have wrote before. I think if you have not wrote a song, then there are just a lot of things you just will never be able to understand. You could never put yourself in that position because you don't know what it's like to write. Okay, so let's just preface that, and we'll put anything with me or whatever credentials, whatever. Just put that to the side for a second, but just understand why I prefaced it that way. And really quick, I caught some of that mall and I forgot whatever that the DJ guy name, whatever his name is. I caught some of their interview, and that kind of led me to do this because both of them come from a biased perspective, and I think they both know it, but will they both admit it? That's a different thing. Also, neither one of them writes, so they can only go a certain level. They can't go here. They can go like here, but they can't go no further than that. And that's not a discredit. I think people need to understand when you say these type of things, it's not to discredit you. It's just to tell the truth. If you have not watched football before and or you have not played football before, if you've never coached football before, then how can you discuss football in depth? And I think people like the DJ and Maul, they can stay surface level, but they can't really go in depth because they don't write. And that's a fact. You can only go here because you can't enter the brain of someone who has actually penned and wrote a verse, a hook, a bridge, three verses for that matter, another hook and another bridge. And that's where I'm coming from. And I feel like this is an unbiased opinion. I am an unbiased opinion. I listen to both artists. If you ask me who do I listen to more, I probably listen to Drake more because um, I think Kendrick is he's a good artist, but just not my cup of tea, if you will. And you have to understand when I say that, I mean, I love his rapping ability. I think he is a very highly skilled rapper, but just not my cup of tea. As far as wise his direction of where he raps. Okay, so let's just put that. Like, I party and BS in the clubs, well, used to anyway. So I think that lane kind of like came from Drake. Okay, so let's just get this thing started. Okay, now let me start by saying who is the better MC. Okay, so with that being said, right, you have to grade these things on a scale from 0 to 100. Um, for me, my best verse that I've probably heard Kendrick write was that part remix on a Black Hippie remix. Love that verse. I think that was a very, 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 very well crafted verse. For Drake, um I like um I actually like Drake in phases. I like the older Drake. If I'm going to go off of a rapping verse, one of my favorite verses from him was, and this one is still one of my favorite songs, is I think it's like AM to the PM with him and Nicholas F. I think that over the time, of course, Drake, that's where he started off more as like really rapping. And then once he started to come into his own, when you making hits and you making money, you're going to do with what the fans want you to do. I initially didn't even really like him that much because of the singing stuff. And eventually it just came in to be something that I actually liked him for. I always said that I didn't think that he would make it. And he ended up being one of the people that I listen to the most. So that just goes to show, you know what I mean, how these things work. Okay, so I said that and give you two verses because when you talk about rapping, right? And I said you have to grade this thing on a scale from 0 to 100. There isn't much room for somebody who is highly skilled versus another person that's highly skilled. I'll give you an example. You have somebody like Jadakiss. You have somebody like Fabulous. You have somebody like Jay-Z. You have somebody like even if you want to go Lupe, even if you want to go I mean whoever, anybody that you feel is highly skilled, that Andre 3000, whoever you want to go with the pen, right? My point is you grade a person from 0 to 100, right? Now, is it really easy to say that Kendrick is better than Drake at rapping? It's kind of like the easy thing to say. And that's more like what a fan would say off the break because that's what you're just going to go to. That is what everyone is going to say because you're going with the consensus, right? You're not going to actually dissect raps, right? So the first thing we always say is, okay, who's better than who, right? So we actually have a song with both of them on the song, Poetic Justice. Listen to the song. Just listen to the song before you. Did he crucify Drake on? No, he didn't because he can't. Right? Anytime a person is like very, very, very talented, it's going to show. That song made out for a good song. Anyone that says, "Oh, he murdered him on that song," he didn't. He can't because there's this much room between one person and the other. I think if anything, if you want to say, you probably say Kendrick would edge him out in some type of lyrical battle, right? So you say, okay, if I grade Kendrick as a 90, then I would probably grade Drake as a 80, 85, 86. That's how I grade it. I don't think either one of those people can pull that much far away because they're both great MCs. Now, you have to preface that with saying, okay, Well, Kendrick does all of this stuff. He does this, this, that, and the third. Yes, he does that because that's what he's known for. That's what works for him. That's what he wants to do. He wants to come out and be so called the best rapper. Same thing with Eminem. And I should have put him on that list as well. That's what they focus on. So it's different when you say, "Hey, I'm going to I'm going to compare this person and this person," right? So Drake doesn't necessarily try to kill you with bars, right? Or um double fucking entendres, triple entendre. Drake isn't going to try to kill you with that because he's a hybrid rapper. He raps, he sings, he's more melodic. You're not going to be doing these type of things when you are that successful from melodic raps. That's just is what it is. You have to preface that before you try to compare two people. Again, I say go back to Poetic Justice. Listen to that song. You're going to hear it. Now, let me give you why I say that. When you have someone else that's a lower tier rapper, you're going to hear it. Damn, I hate I'm about to do this. So right now I'm going to pick a low tier rapper. And I'm going to pick someone that is just um who is a low tier rapper? Damn, I gotta do it because I have to make my point. So I'm going to say, who is a low tier rapper? Okay, Soldier Boy. If if Soldier Boy was on Poetic Justice, that song wouldn't have turned out to what it is. The song turned out to what it was because you had two very talented people who can both write at a high level. It's nothing Soldier Boy can do on any track to compete. That's a fact. That's not even an opinion at this point. That's a fact. And he can't compete because he's not a lyrical person. And everybody says Drake isn't lyrical, and it's like, damn, dog, I don't know I don't know what people listen to. I don't know what they think is lyrical, but you hear one person do one thing and then you say this person isn't, and oh, okay, cool, whatever. So we're not even going to go on that because if you ask any person, they're going to probably say, yes, he's lyrical. Yes, Drake can rap. Yes, he can be lyrical. He is lyrical. It's just in his lane because it's more of a melodic tune, right? Okay, so if you were going to grade them, like I said in the beginning, you'll probably, if I was, and I would say maybe one person is in the 90s, one person may be at 87. Both are very highly skilled individuals, okay? So, so we preface all of that. Now, you say, you come into the battle. Coming into the battle, supposedly, we don't know, we got reports saying that there was a call being made to try to get him on what became first person shooter. Okay. I think that was kind of like a sucker move from Kendrick because if you don't, I mean, you got Cole on there for one. I don't think that nothing has happened to where you couldn't get on the song. If a person, and you got, and this is another reason why I think it was a sucker move because where is the bad blood? What is the bad blood? Is it, did someone die? Right? We all go by, hey, if no blood was shed, things can be fixed. A person extends an olive branch to you to try to get on the record. You turn it down. Cool, that's your prerogative. But you turn it down and then decide to diss both of them. Um, and it's that threw me for a loop because to if we go back to Control. Everyone says this, everyone says that. In my opinion, I believe that he wanted the spotlight that Drake had. I believe that with all the accolades that he received, I believe with all of the praise that he received, I believe with the Grammys that he received, I believe his heart wasn't fulfilled. I believe his heart wasn't fulfilled because he wanted to be recognized how Drake was recognized, and he was never veered as the top of the game, the top rapper. Everybody would probably say that was Drake, and it was mainly because of the numbers. I think he felt, well, I'm better than this guy, and people should look at me in that way. Well, you put in a lot of work, but you can't really have the people to look at you in that way. And I think in his and his thought process was the only way that I can get what he has now, what how people look at him and view him now, and the perception of where he is, and seemingly to be in that number one spot. I think he thought the only way that he could do that was to attack them, but they have to bite. Okay, so no one really bit on Control as far as wise it being a bloodbath. You had a couple people respond, and he didn't even respond to everybody. You had like some people. I think I think the person with the best verse on that was King Los, the guy out of Baltimore. Like he really killed that Control verse. But that's neither here nor there. So I think Kendrick decided to say, hey, we are going to attack this guy. And the best way for me to do that, that's part one. Stay tuned, guys. We got part two coming up, and we going right back at it. Hey, listen, if you knew better, you do better. One's cool, but two is better. Brain Food, the Mad Trucker, letting you guys know why I'm mad. Part one. We out of here. Stay tuned.